Hello and good evening, everyone. This is Gaurav Pandey, welcoming you all to another episode of Freedom Project by Collective Will. Today, we have with us Miss Ina Jafri. She's a psychologist with 9+ years of experience in health and education sector. She has expertise in psychotherapy, guidance, counseling, and special education. She has work research projects towards accomplishment of social and community responsibility. So I welcome you, ma'am. How are you?
Hi, dear. I'm absolutely fine. Thank you so much.
So, is there any point in the introduction that we missed out from our end? We'd like you to add, ma'am.
Dear Gaurav, I don't think so. It was pretty quick and apt to introduce me like that. Yes, I'm a psychologist. I'm a clinical psychologist. To the ones who are unaware, it is something, it's something where probably we help people, okay, who seek our support, who, it's more like psychological assistance, okay. It's like if today you have if somebody has flu, okay, and they go to a doctor, to seek help, they want to get rid of their flu, so they go seek help from them. So in our profession, in our field, there are people who probably feel that they need some sort of help, so we are there for them. So I'm a clinical psychologist, and our community of mental health practitioners, we together help everyone around.
Wow, that's really perfect, ma'am. So, in today's segment, we have few questions for you, and which we would like to hear from you and your point of view, so that we can help our viewers who are suffering from mental health, who need some assistance through mental health. They can benefit from our episode. Shall we begin,
Sure,
ma'am?
sure, please.
So, our first question for you is that what do you believe is essential for mental health? The very first question.
Um, I would say that if I want to be mentally fit, I need to know that there is something unfit with me. As I said, if you sneeze, if you cough, if you have fever, you typically identify that. Okay? Somehow, unfortunately, when we are mentally unfit, we don't recognize those. We miss out on those signs and symptoms. We choose to ignore it as well a couple of times. So, towards if you're moving towards mental fitness, uh, I would say that you need to be self aware. You need to recognize, okay, that you are undergoing uh, an issue, you are undergoing some problem, which definitely has a solution. Let me add that, okay. So the very first thing is that you need to recognize, okay. Second thing, you need to be in a frame of mind to reverse it. So once you've recognized, once you're aware, okay, and once probably you decide that you need to take action, you need to go back, okay. And this is the point where probably our role comes into play as a clinical psychologist at Jude Box, okay. We try to help people achieve this reversal. We provide our service, okay, our psychological assistance. We help them heal, we help them modify their behavior. So when you are doing this, you are actually moving towards a phase of resilience. So resilience would be something like, you have those stress balls. Are you aware of that, Gaurav?
Yeah, yeah.
We have those squishy balls, right?
Mhm.
uh, you know you bounce them, they come back at you, okay. No matter how
Mhm.
many times you bounce them, they always come back, and the process is endless. It goes on and on and on. So each individual, we do have the capacity to show resilience. It's just that it needs to be triggered in a certain manner, okay. So a mental health practitioner, a clinical psychologist would try to focus, or help you focus on their mental health, through all of this.
Yeah.
I hope I've
Exactly,
answered
ma'am.
your question.
That was something that we really needed to hear. How we can detect the mental health, because this is something if we are having and we don't want to go to people, we don't want to go to a psychologist and a clinical psychologist. We think it will be fine. It will be fine with the passage of time, but that is not true. Moving on to our next question. It is very related to question to how does one can keep his mental health strong? Like how what are the things, what are the steps that he can take to keep himself mentally fit?
Um, See, uh, okay, Gaurav, let me ask this. Let me ask you first. Do you go to the gym?
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah, I
pre-COVID
hit
times.
gym.
Okay, so yeah, would you go to the gym? Okay.
Yeah, it
Would you
was.
walk? Would you walk?
Uh,
You know?
I hardly get time to do that because after gym we have our heavy schedule of the day. But yeah, I hit gym
Okay.
more often.
There would be people. There would be people who would go for cycling, who would go for jogging, who would go for running,
Mm,
who would do
right.
yoga, who would meditate, right? So all of
Yes,
this
yes,
is probably towards physical fitness. Okay.
yes.
On the parallel lines, we have something called the mental fitness. Okay. So if the moment you realize that parallel to physical fitness, you need to be mentally fit as well. Okay. This is where probably the role again of being psycho educated comes into being. You have all the top leading gyms or apps these days, probably to get you into action, to get you running, to get you walking, to get you to do yoga or meditate, or probably practice breathing exercises. But how many of us actually talk about being mentally fit, okay, or being mentally healthy? Okay, so yes, of course, I would say the pandemic actually got the world talking about issue. People have given it importance. Stay at home and kind of uh, be be frustrated with not being able to go out and all. Okay, the mental health debate started. Okay, so to be mentally fit, to be mentally healthy, you need to be in a sound mind. Your emotions need to be sound. The expression of your emotions needs to be appropriate. I can't go screaming about on everybody. I might be very frustrated with sitting at home, because of the lockdown. But then that doesn't mean that I'm going to scream at my family. I'm going to scream at my neighbors. Okay, so our emotional fitness, okay, our social connections, okay, the entire psychosocial support around us is very important when we talk about mental health.
And I feel it is really important to communicate and tell people, boss, I'm having this issue. What should I do? Like, I'm not able to express myself. I'm feeling low. So once we start communicating, I feel we can tackle this problem more well than we are tackling it right now.
Gaurav, what I also have come across is, people tend to talk. Okay, so if today I have an issue, okay, and I'm a regular person, okay, and I have nothing to do with psychology, I don't know about mental health, I don't have people in the medical fraternity, okay, and I talk to somebody and I say that, hey guy, and I'm not feeling well, something is wrong, I just can't sleep, and the other person is like, hey, come on, what's wrong? It's okay, it's normal, you know
Yeah.
we we as their social support, we shun that feeling away. We don't let them feel that way, because we feel,
Exactly.
by enforcing them, no, 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 by telling them possibly to go and meet a doctor, okay, you know we feel that, oh, we might be doing something wrong. Our
Yeah.
society needs
Exactly.
to accept that mental health is very important. It is absolutely fine, to feel in a certain way, okay, but then what is important is how we cope up with it. So if if in the process of coping with these problems, okay, if we take a bit of professional help from somebody, there is no harm. Okay, you go to a doctor, you go to an endocrinologist, you go to a cardiologist, you go to a, maybe probably a gynecologist or anybody. What are you doing? You're seeking help, right? So here what is happening, we do not want to go to a mental health practitioner to seek help. We don't
Yeah.
realize that, it's important to be mentally fit.
Exactly, exactly. Like we haven't yet normalized this thing. We have normalized our physical health, but we haven't normalized the mental health thing. We are still
Completely.
in our stigma. We mental health is something that we can like. "Arey, it would be okay. Why are you worrying? It would be fine. Let's go for a walk and you'll be feeling good." No, we need help. We need some proper counseling. That is the thing that the other person needs to understand from the person who is suffering from mental health.
Yeah, I would like to add in here, we need possibly celebrities to, get, get into talking for mental health. Unless a celebrity speaks up, we don't want to talk about it.
We don't
Unless
want
a
to talk
movie
about.
is made, we don't want to talk about it. Until a celebrity endorses it, we don't want to talk about it. Why are we ignoring mental health? Why am I ignoring that, if I don't get to sleep or if I'm not able to sleep for such and such reason, okay, why am I ignoring it? Why? Okay, if I have a tummy ache right now, I know that a traditional way to deal with a tummy ache would be, go drink lemon juice or have an antacid or something like that. If I'm not able to sleep, if I'm not able to concentrate, or if I have, bursts of tears, or I get really excited suddenly, okay, and the other moment I burst into, a fit of rage or something, okay, come on, what's wrong in seeking help for that?
So, ma'am, moving on to our very next question, and that is very related to the situation that we are currently in. This pandemic is opening right now. Like we had the first wave, then we had the second wave, and now the third second wave is like calming down, and it is coming to a decrease stage.
Yeah.
So when this pandemic is opening, and how do we need to cope up with the new guidelines to roam around the world? Like it's really important. Like in this pandemic time, the rise in cases of mental issues have risen a lot. Like there have been a huge surge in the cases of mental health. So after this, pandemic is over and we are into a new world right now. We'll be in a new world maybe very
Mhm.
soon. So what is the guidelines that we should follow? Ki from now on we'll be healthy. From now on we'll take care of ourselves.
uh, Gaurav, I would say the foremost, okay, is to follow the guidelines set by your country. Follow the guidelines set by your state, set by your city, set by the local corporation or the authority. Okay. So, whatever the central government, the state government tells you, whatever your apartment complex association tells you, you need to follow those guidelines. Okay. Even if that restricts us. Okay. So, being safe is foremost. Okay. Uh, and of course, there are a lot of medical associations, there are a lot of medical bodies, it could be the World Health Organization, and anybody for that matter, okay, the Indian Medical Association, they have given us guidelines. Okay, if we can follow those, that's priority. Now, coming to the psychological part of it, uh, certain very simple steps, okay, I'm sure, people are doing it, I am doing it, you are doing it, okay. But then, just a reinforcement on that bit, uh, if you really feel that, you're troubled, okay, and this, probably the upcoming third wave, or this news around, the lockdown extension or whatever is troubling you, I would say is, uh, minimize media. Okay, minimize negative media. Okay, uh, we tend to follow all the updates on COVID. Okay, we want to completely, be up to date with, the facts and figures, regarding infections and mortality. Come on, cut that out. We don't need that. Okay, we don't need those facts and figures, specifically the very very negative ones. Okay, once a day, okay, you know where your city is, you know where your state is, that's fine, that's fine. Okay, apart from that, on a very day to day basis, uh, please set a routine for yourself. uh, I know we are not all of us are going to a physical office space. Okay. Most of us are working from home, like you and me right now, possibly. Okay. So even though, you you do not have a 6 o'clock alarm set in your phone. Okay. I would say not 6 o'clock, but please at least make it 7 or 8 o'clock, alarm clock. Get up on time every day. Have your breakfast on time every day. Don't be in your pajamas all day, please. You'll
Yeah.
feel very, very, I don't know, sluggish all day long. Okay. Dress up.
Very lazy.
Yeah, don't be lazy. Go take a bath, freshen up, do your it's like I often joke. uh, if you're not going to office or school, will you not brush your teeth? You will, right? I hope you brush your teeth,
Yeah,
right, twice a day.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like, you wouldn't forget brushing your teeth. So why do we not dress up well every day? Okay, why don't we dress up as we are possibly going to office? Okay, I'm not asking you to be, in a perfect three-piece suit or something like that. No, but then you can dress decent. Okay, set up a routine, have lunch on time, have your snacks on time, get up, go for a walk if you can do that, if it is permitted, of course, maintaining the, COVID appropriate
Norms,
behavior.
yeah.
Okay, so and of course then, I'm sure all of us are missing out on our family connections. We're not able to meet, our relatives, our parents, our family, our kids, or whatever. It's a world of digital communication. You and me haven't met, but we are having this conversation digitally, you know. So let's digitally connect with everybody. Okay. This way, you are connected with your family, you get to connect with them, there is an emotional attachment, you fulfill those. Okay. Not necessarily that you need to hug or hold their hands, to feel that connect. Just seeing them face to face, talking, have video calls with people. I'm sure,
Yeah,
or I think most of the population has come down, from a physical connect to a virtual connect. Okay, even
exactly.
I think these
Exactly.
days weddings are also happening, virtually. Okay,
Yeah,
so that's absolutely fine. And there are 2 points that I would probably, kind of stress upon is, uh, I believe that this is completely my thought. Okay, um, invest. I would say invest in charitable acts. And when I say charity, it doesn't mean that you have to spend out lakhs and lakhs, to some organization or to some, needy person or something. A charitable act could be as simple as feeding a stray animal. It could be, giving a call to your neighbor and asking them, hey, how are you feeling? Is there some way I can help you? Okay. You don't necessarily need to do a physical run to get them some grocery. You could just simply order for them, and that should be it. Okay.
yeah,
And
exactly.
secondly, um, express gratitude. You know that thank you should always be there. Okay, and not necessarily thanking the other person or your neighbor or your family member or your spouse. Okay, it could be as simple as thanking God. Okay, or if you don't believe in God, it could be as simple as thanking nature. Okay, so these two things probably would get you, would probably help you deal with, the upcoming, fingers crossed, no, but whatever the situation.
We don't want the third wave. Yeah, fingers crossed.
Keeping fingers crossed.
Yeah. So yeah, very related question to what we have discussed right now. So with there's a evolving like the pandemic is evolving as well. Like in the first wave, it was affecting us differently. In the second wave, it is affecting us differently, and
Mhm.
people are getting very anxious and very stressed out. Okay, so how should we mentally be prepared for the third wave? Like what are this? There would be a lockdown. There would be a total stoppage of everything. There was total shutdown, and how can we have a better mindset for this upcoming situation if in case it comes?
um have you heard of this story? I don't know, I had heard of it some time back. um it's not actually a story, but then it's, probably, it's like a bird. Okay, no matter which bird, sparrow, crow, eagle, any bird. A bird sits on a tree. Okay. Uh, a bird sitting on a tree is never afraid of the branch breaking. I would repeat, a bird sitting on a tree is never afraid of a branch breaking. Ask me why.
Because the bird believes in its wings. Yeah.
Exactly. So you would have heard of it, right? So a bird definitely trusts its wings. The bird trusts its flight. So the courage, okay, uh, to achieve something, okay, is within you, is within me, is within everybody. So if tomorrow um unforeseen circumstances come up, okay, we have to deal with it. Okay, we can't fear for the future, okay, but we have to be prepared for it. So what are you doing today so that you can deal with your tomorrow? Of we are eating well, we are drinking karas, we are coming up with various concoctions in our kitchen, add
Yes.
haldi to milk, do this, drink that, eat that, you know
New
but what are we?
experiments and
Yeah, but are we doing experiments for our mental fitness?
no, like we have been neglecting this thing a lot.
So the moment you realize, the moment I said recognize, right? So I would use the word realize. If you realize that mental fitness is important and your own mental fitness is important, your family's mental fitness is important, please work for it starting today. This
That
way, you'll
was,
be able to deal with the future or the unforeseen circumstances or the unfortunate circumstances in a better way.
oh man, that
That's
was a
that's
beautiful
that's
answer. That
that's
was, yeah.
that's what I feel. Thank you.
And that point really, that thing that a bird believes in its wing, and so we should be well prepared. Like we should be well equipped with the knowledge. Ki if this unwanted circumstances arises, we can be
Hmm.
well prepared. Yeah, if this thing comes, we can handle it well. Let's trust
Yep.
ourselves. Let's have a belief in ourselves.
Yes.
So, ma'am, there is something that I would like to know from your experience in this field of mental health.
Hmm.
From the very early days of your start of a career and till date, till we are in 2021 in a big pandemic right now, how has your experience with mental illness influenced you to do what you are doing exactly today, like with Jukebox?
Hmm. Okay. I'll first start off with Jukebox because that's a latest venture of mine. Uh, at Jukebox, okay, uh, we are stressing upon mental fitness. We are stressing upon how to create the psychological assistance around you, how to help you heal, in case if you have certain concerns. If not healing, then how are we able to help you achieve your capacities? Okay. Or how to possibly be the best. Okay. Now, if I have reached a certain stage of providing psychological assistance in a particular manner, what has led me to that? That's what you ask.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
in the past decade, so it's a long story. I'll cut it short. Um Human behavior, people around me, how people react, how people differ from each other, always interested me. Even as a student, even as a school student, it really interested me. I was an introvert. I wouldn't talk to people. I would have bare minimum friends, and even in that friend circle, I would talk very less. Okay, uh, but then I had the opportunity. I had the wonderful opportunity to study psychology, and my interest, my passion kept on growing. Okay, so I eventually chose, okay, to be a psychologist. I've tried my hand at diverse, areas in psychology, be it practice, clinical practice, be it special education, be it teaching. Okay, be it providing, support to others. Okay, now what happens is when you come across different people, when you interact with different people, you feel the importance of psychology even more. It's as simple as this, Gaurav. If is there any latest movie that you would have watched? Okay, and maybe you watch it with a friend. Did your friend like that movie or series?
Yeah, like we watched. Recently we watched this Peaky Blinders thing, and
Hmm.
somehow we connected. Okay, yeah, this was something that was really nice in that 19th centuries.
Okay,
So
so was
yeah,
there any friend who disagreed with you and did not like it?
yeah, they were friends. Like they were like it's a boring one. Like this a dark comedy. This is the dark series. So we don't like it.
Mhm.
We want something very bright, very very romantic kind of stuff. We want not this
Yeah.
thing.
So it's perspective, right? It's perspective.
Yeah.
Uh, the world around you is perspective. The world around you is a perspective. You like it, you do not like it. You like certain things, you do not like certain things. And psychology or mental health is just not about illness. You know, many people, assume, okay, oh, psychology, ye to pagal hai, ye to cranky hai. He should be in an asylum. You should send that person, for psychological help. They joke about it. No, it's not always about illness. It's about the regular people around you and how they deal with a certain issue, how we deal with a certain issue, how our interactions are based, how we see the world. Okay, COVID is a boom for introverts. People are joking about it. We are happy sitting in our places. We are happy sitting in our
Yeah,
cozy
exactly.
homes and not interacting with the world. Okay, so
Introverts
it's
wanted
again
that.
about perspective. It's all about perspective. So this is what I'm talking about. You don't need to necessarily interact or come across a mental illness to be a psychology enthusiast or to be a mental health practitioner. Just being a little empathetic, okay, to have a bit of concern for the other fellow human beings, okay, makes you probably attached to this field.
That is something that was a good advice. Like we can take that points in our head. Yeah, we have to follow these things so that we know we can support each other. Because until and unless we support each other in this very situation, in this very condition, there is no point fighting alone. It would be a lone battle at the end until and unless we have people around us, until we have people to share with this problem, this issue.
Yeah.
So that is really important. So I was just getting this question in my mind, like it was hitting me, and I wanted to ask from a long time right now.
Hmm.
Ki if a person is suffering from mental illness, is suffering from mental health issues, how can he decide whether he has to go for a psychiatrist or whether he has to go for a psychologist? Like, is there any traits of that you would like to mention so that our viewers
uh,
can choose wisely?
yeah, that's a good question, Gaurav. Because most of the time people are not aware of the difference between the two. uh, a psychiatrist is a one who would have probably done an MBBS and a specialization, MD, DNB, whatever the latest courses are. Okay, specializing in psychiatry. Now they are the ones who would be licensed under the Medical Council of India. Okay, you would find them along with the doctors in the hospitals around you. Okay, now they are the ones who are probably doing the same thing or trying to understand the same thing, trying to help you with the same thing. But additionally, they can give you medicines. They medicate you. They would give you certain pills or certain tablets. Okay, most of the time. Okay, and they work on your neurology. Okay, so they give you medications to to get you on the treatment mode. Whereas a psychologist, a clinical psychologist, okay, would never ever give you medications. We are not doctors. We are clinical psychologists. We are psychotherapists. We are analysts. Okay, and in certain other branches, we are counselors. Okay, we are guidance counselors. Okay, so a psychologist would probably do the talking therapy. if you would have heard this term, catharsis, you probably got a bashing from your boss, okay, and what do you do next? You either call up your friend or your spouse or your mother or your father, okay, or your sibling. Hey man, this is what he or she did with me. This is I'm so angry right now. What are you doing? You're venting it out, right? Okay,
Yes,
and
exactly.
what will the friend say? Chhod yaar, ignore mar. Okay.
Let's go for a walk. Let's have a cup of coffee or a thing, and it will be fine.
But we can't do that. Okay, we can't
Yeah,
take our clients to a cup of coffee. Okay, professionally
yeah.
we're not allowed to do that. Okay, so we would provide them psychotherapies. Okay, we have certain techniques. Okay, minus the medications. Okay, so there are going to be no side effects, there are going to be no addictions. Okay, because people do attach a lot of myths, okay, to psychiatric medicines. They feel that they get you addicted onto it. They feel that this will affect their nervous system. Okay, so what we do here is, probably we counter them and we say that, okay, fine, we are not here to give you medications, but we are here to give you psychotherapy. Okay, we have so many techniques, to help you out, to modify your behavior, to even get rid of phobias. Okay, to tackle depression. Okay, you use the heavy terms. I don't want to use it at this forum, but there are so many illnesses. Okay, or maybe conditions in us. Okay, uh, for which we have psychotherapeutic techniques. But uh, I would like to stress upon it that most medical setups have a psychiatrist and a psychologist working as a team. So, in a very funny manner, it could be like, we are like husband and wife working on a child. So,
Okay, yeah.
husband has
So
a
that
technique and a
that was a
wife has
good point.
husband has a technique, wife has a technique, and we work on this child. You know,
Yeah.
so that's
And
what.
like a child who cannot grow properly into a proper person without
Mm-hmm.
anyone missing out. I
Mm-hmm.
think a patient who needs help, he needs both of them. The help from a psychologist as well as
Mm-hmm.
a psychiatrist, and hence we can achieve what we want.
Yeah,
So
and most hospitals have them on board, Gaurav. Most hospitals have both of them on board. Okay, so you could try out both, and mostly what happens, they work together. Okay, so and each psychologist or psychiatrist would also have their specializations, their area of interests. So it's like, if you have a toothache, whom would you go to?
a dentist,
Sure.
yeah,
Right, you would not go to a cardiologist, right?
I
Okay,
don't know,
so
yeah,
here also, when it comes to us, okay, if most hospitals, most medical organizations, they list the profile of the doctor, right? So if you go to any hospital's website, okay, or you access their documents or something, you will get to know the practitioner's area of interest. Whether they specialize in dealing with depression, or they specialize in dealing with possibly schizophrenia or whatever. Okay, so you can always access those information and then decide whom to choose.
that was a really helpful answer, ma'am. So, like summing up the whole interview into like few lines, is there any point that you like to tell our audience, like any crisp advice that you should follow this, and you'll feel more better, you'll feel more helpful, like you'll feel more good when you are after the
Mm-hmm.
session, yeah.
uh, all I would like to say is to a vast community, is to open up to mental health, to not shy away from reaching out when you are in need, to identify the signs of trouble early so that you can receive a proper healing process. And this will only be when you are self aware, when you look within, when you reflect upon your potentiality, your capacities, the skills that you have. Most of us, Gaurav, we are so busy in our everyday schedules. You know, uh, we are so caught up with everything in our life that we barely give time to ourselves. So the moment you probably just take out some bit of time in a day for yourself, sit and reflect. Sit and try to understand what you are doing. Okay. I read it somewhere. It was a quote from a spiritual leader. Okay. uh, like a diamond, every human form or every individual is a form of potentialities. Okay, so like the carbon, the diamond is a carbon. The chemical
Yes.
composition is carbon, right? uh, so similarly, in an individual can be reduced to a potentiality, and it is up to us uh, whether we convert this into a potentiality or not. And is it just a potentiality in in its abstract form, or do we actually put it into actuality? So unless and until we have pressures on us, unless and until we have challenges on us, we will never modify into a diamond. So focusing on your health, a holistic health, physical, emotional, psychosocial. Okay, so that is mental health. Okay, when you focus on your holistic health, you let your diamond shine. You bring out your inner diamond. That's probably the gist of what I believe.
Okay, yeah, that was a really beautiful answer again, ma'am. We were so like we couldn't stop for a moment to get those words from your mouth. Like, yeah, this is something we are valuable, and we shouldn't skip this thing.
Thank you.
So with this, we come to the end of our today's Freedom Project session. And like what we are promoting is just we normalize mental health issues. It is really important as physical health. We'll keep bringing you certain more sessions like this. Do follow Miss Ina Jafri. We'll be putting her details in the description. You can reach out to her. You can talk to her about any issues that you have, and just take good care of yourself. Love yourself, and till then, till next Sunday, take care. Goodbye.